Hello YouTube. So I want to make this video going over an interesting topic that an interesting theory that I had as I was kind of rereading over 1108, thinking of, individual theories to kind of make some few quick little things on, or perhaps to expand upon. I did find one that I could expand upon, and it really only goes off of just like a few lines and just the appearance at this point, except expands into a lot more when you think of a lot of other things, and especially when you think of some of the other theories that I've made and that I have. And this one that I'm going to be going over is going to be about Saint Saturn, and maybe some other fruits to be involved. But you see, something that we find out about, or we see about Saint Saturn, is that he seems to be not really, acting as human. As Sanji puts it, looks like he's given up any pretense on looking human. I got my little booklet here, so I can always read off of it. But yeah, he says, he's kind of given up the pretense of looking human. And really, why would you kind of give up the pretense of looking human? Well, we know that he's a zone, so he could be, slowly transforming into his full transformation form, into the, whatever the full giant demon spider thing is, right? So that's what he's, presumably about to turn into. Except, why would he fully lose his humanity, right? Why would he? Because if you look at him right now, his human form, his eyes have gone, like fully black, and they're drawn kind of in the way that you would think of like prey predator in the way, right? That when you see like an animal and they're about to they're in full fear, flight mode, like, what should I do? They're kind of just deer in the headlight, right? That's kind of how he's looking. And, well, he started looking like that once Luffy got involved. Luffy punched him away and started kind of, going into full Gear 5 form, and now all of a sudden Saturn is, dazed and he's out of it, and he's acting like a deer in headlights. Well, why would he be acting like a deer in headlights? Well, it's probably because of Gear 5 Luffy, because he's seeing Nika. Why would he be freaking out about Nika? Well, presumably he would have attacked you. They would have fought 800 years ago during the Void Century. If we recall, Joy Boy was the original Nika, presumably, as when Gear 5 Luffy first awakens in Wano, Zunisha is, they're saying Joy Boy has returned, not Nika has returned. Specifically, Joy Boy and Nika are the same. Whether or not he ate the fruit and became Nika, the same way that Luffy is, or if it's my theory where he actually was Nika in the original time and he willed himself to become the fruit so that he could continue on in, giving freedom and liberation in future generations, because of the whole fight with Imu during the Void Century. See, I'm believing that Imu is not human. I actually think that either Imu is a devil, like legitimately the devil, or a devil in, that wet sense, or he could have had, potentially the first fruit, which was the devil, which is why it's the devil fruits, right? And then why does this come in with Saint Saturn? Well, I don't think Saint Saturn was human either. I don't think any of the Gorosei are human. I think all 5 of them ate human fruits without models. I think that they literally just ate them to become human. And because they have no desire or will to do anything more than be humans and serve Imu, they'll never change out of just being humans. So the reason why Saturn is starting to slip back into fight or flight mode, into a deer in headlights, is because he's seeing his original adversary. He's always called people insects. That's always been his thing. When he sees somebody below him, it's not, oh, peasant, oh, peon, trash, disgusting, get out of my sight. He always refers to people as insects. Do you care when you step on an insect? Do you think you feel how the insect is? Referring to people as like cockroaches, he always sees somebody as, people below him as an insect, as just not even rodents. It's always insect, which makes sense of him being a giant spider. He would always see his prey as insects, because that's all a giant spider would eat. So even though he's human, he still, in the back of his head, is thinking, in the version of a giant spider, right? So he wants to refer to people as insects, because that's what's below a spider, are insects. Shut up, bird. You're above them. So now that we see that he's finally met the person who sees him as prey, he's no longer, as he sees Sanji and Kizaru and all these people, he sees them as his prey, so he's never had to freak out or anything. But he's now seeing the truck. The truck is coming towards him, and that bright light is Nika, the original person who makes even Imu a bit scared, makes Imu kind of freak out and hesitant, right? So he's now seeing him. So it's time, it's, oh, this isn't, playtime. This is, I'm actually seeing him in person. I'm feeling his aura. I'm remembering 800 years ago when perhaps he was just a demon and he wasn't the member of the 5 Gorosei. He was just a giant demon who, lived, who got chosen. Perhaps it's because of, the five Gorosei were chosen because they were the five demons who, could have like gone on in the fight long enough, or they were the five, strongest of them, and Imu chose them to be his five generals of his army. So he's the five Gorosei of the world government now, in a way. I'm not saying like demons and like the sense that like seven deadly sins, we're gonna have like a great demon war or anything, but it's these evil creatures, how we're having good mythological characters like Buddha or Nika, the more positive, I should say, versus now these more negative, evil, and sinister, and they were just never human because that's not what they are. They just weren't. They had to be given the choice to be human, and without any other thoughts or wills, that's all they'll ever be. So potentially, when we see, here in 2, 3, 4, 5 chapters down the line, as we get more and more information out, as we get the Vegapunk information here, as we see more and more of the fight between Luffy, Kizaru, and Saint Saturn, we'll be getting more and more and more information and seeing things. Perhaps the information that Vegapunk is going to reveal is going to be the origin of Imu, or the origin of, what happened during the Void Century. Why would you want to fully blemish it and get rid of it? Well, obviously it's to hide what you truly are, and that could just be what nobody wants, and that's the devil. It's demons, it's evil, it's evil incarnate. It's not just, oh yeah, we're kind of bad, or we can be seen as bad, but we're doing it for a good cause, right? No, they're just evil. It's the incarnation. So it's interesting to see what's going to be coming of it. This is a shorter one, but that's all right, because I think I got all my info out, which hopefully is something, because I think it's rather curious that Saturn, upon basically seeing Nika, his original adversary, has gone into deer in the headlight mode. He's freaked out. He's no longer being human. And it's not even that he's fully transformed yet. You can still see his human part. So he's only in hybrid form. So he is still human up here. But for whatever reason, it's gone. And I mean, I've given my reason, but I think it'll be interesting to see what's coming up. And kind of going with another theory, just go over, but it's kind of just to do with the human fruit, just to clear up a thing. I think there's actually a whole bunch of human fruits. There's actually a TikTok comment I got from somebody named Poisonous. If he ever sees this, shout out to you for this whole concept. But basically, he just in a jokingly way said he thinks that the human fruit, that people just kept eating it, not knowing that's what it was, and as a result just kept drowning. Now you see, that made an interesting comment. What if there is actually a whole bunch of human fruits, and it isn't until you have a will or desire to do something more than be human that it can evolve? Or for some of the animals, such as the one in Wano, who ate there's a monk type fruit, and he basically ate it and it allows him to turn into a giant monk. He had a desire to be more than just a human. He needed a desire to protect, to be well adversed in weaponry. So a giant monk of the origin would be able to protect and defend and use and carry weaponry like that. And then with Chopper, he just wanted to fit in, so he just became a human. But he can still have a desire or will to do more, so he can potentially evolve it later. And that's why I think the Gorosei are just eating a human fruit. They were demons who ate it, which was why they still have the original mindset, calling everybody insects the way Saturn does, because he's a giant spider. So he still has the original mindset of what he was and can just be human, but because he was given that that ability to be human by Imu, he would never want to be more, because why would he want to be more? He's what Imu made. He's what what God made him. He's in the image of God, right? Of Imu. So he wouldn't have any desire to be more than that. So he'll never evolve, and none of the other Gorosei will, except there is one who I can't think of. I can see him in my head. He's the blonde one. I think he's the youngest. I think he's Jupiter. There is signs of he kind of seems hesitant about stuff. And then also knowing Jupiter in actual mythology, he is the one who betrayed the father, who is Zeus essentially. So potentially there could be something with Jupiter, wanting to be more than human, or at least wanting to be more than just what Imu has in mind. So potentially he can do something with that. But until we actually get to see the rest of the five Gorosei and Imu doing stuff, or if Vegapunk's information gives us anything, then I'll continue this theory. But until then, that's gonna do it for this one. I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you did, then consider liking and subscribing, as I'll be doing this a lot more often. And if you didn't like it, then go ahead and dislike and tell me what you didn't like, because I would like to improve. So next time you see me, you can say, hey, you did better. But until then, until I see you next time, bye guys.